There we go. So welcome, everybody, to hopefully creating a beautiful, intentional summer with the help of this little workshop and gathering. And whether you're watching this live with me now or on recording, I'm kind of, doing this for everybody. So anything that I do is with everybody in mind, whether you are here live with me or not, you are all in my intention. So I am just going to begin by lighting a candle, which is a way that I actually work a lot. I find when I stop to light a candle, it really helps me to be intentional about what I'm doing next. So whether that is doing some work, whether that is doing a meditation, whether that is putting, a nice dinner out for the family, whatever it is, I find that lighting a candle just really helps me to stop and be intentional. So even if that is the only intentional thing I do in a day, I have done that and it does really work. So I'm going to light the candle with the intention of us all having a beautiful time together. Oh, this happened last time I tried to light a candle on Zoom. Something, there we go. So I will leave this candle on. And yeah, it is a really nice practice. And also another thing I was thinking of when I was just writing some more notes, actually, let me see if I can put that where you can, I've got a candle on already, but see if I, there we go. You can see it, not just me seeing it, you can all see it too. I was actually thinking as I was making some notes that as well as just a candle, I really like to use scented candles because they give a smell. It's like another way, which I'm going to talk about in a bit, about adding intention into your season, is to think about all the senses. And a candle that is scented, you can choose a scent that is related to that season. And I think this is definitely something we do at Christmas or at winter time. There'll be those smells that you really associate with that time of year, but we don't always do it all year round. So you could have a scented summer candle that you light every morning or every evening or whatever it is of your intention. It's just a lovely way to bring something else to your summer or your season. But we're talking about summer today, but a lot of the things I'm going to talk about are really relevant in whatever season you are in. So hopefully some of these ideas you'll think, oh, could actually implement that in autumn and winter as well. So there we go. Right, I just want us to begin. So we've lit our candle and I just want you to just close your eyes for a moment and just take a few deep breaths to properly land here and not to be doing a million other things that you've probably been doing before you've arrived here. So we'll just close our eyes for just a couple of moments and just take some really nice deep breaths in and out. And breathe in real gratitude for yourself for taking this time to be here today, whether that's live, whether that's on the recording, whether that's watching it again to remind yourself of something. Just really thank yourself for being here and for making this time for you and making this time for your summer. I know we are in summer already, but there is still lots of summer to make the most of. So this time is for you and for your summer. And however you are feeling in this moment, just take a beautiful, peaceful breath in and release anything that you don't need right now. And take one more lovely deep breath in and release that out. And open your eyes and return to us. So, hello. So before we begin, I just want to know how you are feeling right now. So if you want to pop anything in the chat, if you want to keep it to yourself, if you just want to write it down. But when we are doing anything about setting our intention, it's a really good idea to just reflect on where we're at. Because you might be at somewhere really beautiful and you want to hold that feeling. And so that is really important to acknowledge. Or you might be feeling really stressed and overwhelmed and you want to be really intentional about getting rid of that. So it's a really good place to start to just think, how do you feel now? And I've really been thinking about this ahead of this. And obviously I was kind of thinking, all my thoughts were about this morning. But I was also just really reflecting on my summer. And I've got children, school-age children. So my summer, when I think of summer, I think of those 6 weeks of the school holiday. But I've also in recent years really kind of extended that out so that I'm not just thinking about those 6 weeks, but I'm thinking about as soon as summer begins, what do I want out of summer? And right now I'm thinking, what do I want out of the next, I think, well, after today, we have 8 days of the school term left. What do I want for myself before my children finish? And so how am I feeling right now? And how do I want to feel? And how do I want to feel going into the summer holidays? And right now I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed because normally I'm way more organized than I am right now. I feel like I haven't organized much for the summer at all. And in one way, that is a beautiful thing because I feel really open and I feel my children feel really open and they don't feel like there's loads already planned. They feel like, yeah, we've got all this space. What are we going to make happen? But that can also feel overwhelming because you can think, oh no, the time's going to go and things are going to be booked up or I haven't done this and so I'm feeling a bit of kind of openness and overwhelm at the same time. So let's have a look. So Helen is feeling anxious, burnt out, emotional. Yeah. In fear of how I will manage the summer whilst glad to be here. Yes. I totally get that. And I think that a lot of parents going into the summer feel like that. They're like, oh yeah, we've reached the end of the year. We've done it. We're here. We've got this lovely time with our children. And then at the same time going, oh my goodness, how am I going to manage it all? What am I going to do? And have I got enough energy? Have I got enough money? Have I got enough resources? Have I got enough support to get me through 6 weeks? It can feel really daunting. So hopefully what we're going to do today is going to help you with all of that. So if you haven't shared anything, it's all good. But just make sure you've written a little note about how you are feeling right now. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about why be intentional? Why be intentional about the summer? What do I mean? Where did this come from? How long have I been intentional? All of that. If you've done anything with me before or you've followed me online, then you probably have a bit of a flavour of this already. But a few years ago, and I can't really quite pinpoint exactly when it was, but it was a while ago now. I really started to be way more intentional about my time and my year. And I began to design my year so that I worked really hard during term time, like over what I needed to do, so that I could then be really intentional about taking the school holidays off with my children. And when I started to do that, I was like, oh my gosh, this is quite hard, but actually it's also really achievable if I'm just really intentional about why am I doing this? I'm working really hard in these 6 or 7 weeks so that I can then take that week off or those 2 weeks off, and everything is organized for those weeks. When I'm taking them off, my business can keep going. And that's really kind of where I started with it. It was like, okay, oh, this is interesting. And then I just began to be intentional about my mornings, intentional about my weekends, intentional about my seasons. yeah, just as intentional as I can be in as many parts of my life as I can. And I really notice when I'm not intentional that I just don't get as much out of whatever it is, whether that's my morning, whether that's my date night with my husband, whether that is the weekend, whether that's some time off, whatever it might be. I realize, like, okay, if I haven't set my intention, if I haven't really thought about what I'm doing, I just lose, I can really easily just lose time and lose focus. And I just don't get as much out of whatever I'm doing. So it's just made me more and more and more intentional kind of as I've gone, really. And I was thinking this morning, as I was thinking about things that I wanted to share, I was thinking about Christmas, which just sounds ridiculous because Christmas is far away. But I was thinking that it was a good thing to just mention about Christmas, because I imagine, and I might be wrong, that you will be quite intentional about things around Christmas. So your intention is either like, I don't like Christmas and I'm going to avoid it, or like, I really go all in for Christmas, or I go to my mum's so she can do Christmas, or whatever it might be. But we kind of all have our feelings, our traditions, our memories, the smells of Christmas, we have all of that around that. And other times of year, we don't necessarily have that, but we can have that. And it might be that you hate Christmas, but you love summer. So why not put everything that someone else might put into Christmas into the summer or the spring or the autumn or whatever your favorite season is? And I just thought, oh yeah, that's really interesting, because I think that is kind of what I've done. Like, I really, really love Christmas. Like, I love it, to the point of where I've even thought about creating my job as something to do with Christmas. Like, that's how much I love Christmas. And I think because Christmas is a short thing, right? Although I will do Christmas for the whole of December, but it's not, you kind of can't extend it very much. Whereas the seasons, if you give the same amount of love and attention to each season, you've kind of got 3 months really for each one. So I began to make my traditions, my intentions, my love, my joy as much as possible as I go through the year. And I have come to love all the seasons, maybe not equally, because I am very much a spring person, but I do have now a deep love for every season. And that is because I have worked with the seasons and worked with my intentions and really thought about what I love about each season. What does each season smell like? What do I want my home to feel like in each season? Who do I want to see in each season? What are the things I love? So how can I make those things happen? And even if those things are simply like, I love hot chocolate, as Ali will know, because I had one yesterday because it got cold. But I love hot chocolate. And so for me, winter, and actually one of my children said to me last winter, he said, Mummy, it's hot chocolate season. And I was like, it is. And he had got that from me, because I love it. So we have the hot chocolate station in the kitchen as something that gets me through, especially after Christmas, the sort of darker side of Christmas. So it's kind of thinking of those things that bring you joy that you can bring into every season. Probably not hot chocolate into every season unless it's raining in the summer. But it's that intention. Does this make sense? Is this kind of making sense, and hopefully getting you inspired about summer? Although I've been talking about Christmas and winter, but so in summer, I'm really, thinking about, how do I want to feel in summer? How do I want my home to smell in the summer? How do I want, what are my favorite things about the summer, and how can I bring those into my summer? How can I celebrate a bit of summer every day? So is there a particular fruit? This morning I had watermelon and I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is really like celebrating summer with my breakfast. Because, and when you begin to be intentional, you can find joy in those what may be like everyday moments, because you're thinking, oh, I'm making a summer breakfast, I'm enjoying this, this is reminding me of being in France or wherever you might wish to be. And it's these things that really, really help me to manage, not just manage, actually, like thrive, I would say, in the school holidays. So I'm thinking, oh, that watermelon was really nice for my breakfast this morning. What other small things can I bring in for the rest of my summer that make my everyday, however busy it might be, however boring it might be, however tired I might feel, what's a little bit of summer that I can intentionally bring into my everyday, or my once a week? You know, it might be a little treat that you like to have once a week. It might be a treat that you like to have on the first of the month, or the end of the month, or you will find these things when you start to look for them, and you'll realize, like, oh, yes, that can be my, I love herbal teas, and so I have some that are very much my summer teas. Oh, that's my summer drink. That's my summer cup of tea, is going to taste like that or look like that, the packaging or whatever it might be. And so the more you start to notice these things, the more intentional you can be about your day, because you can bring in these small things that actually are big things, actually, when you look at it. They're the big things because they bring you joy, they ground you into the season. You know where you are. We can so often be so busy, we don't even know what day of the week it is, or and in the UK, the weather's not always doesn't always tell us what time of year it is. And so it might be cold and rainy outside, but I can have watermelon for breakfast because it is July. So I can bring that summer energy, that summer feeling, that summer intention into my morning. Is this making sense? If it's not, just message me in the chat. So I want you to begin to think about what summer means to you. What does summer smell like? And you can't always bring those smells into your home. You can't always do that. But, what does it feel like? Does it feel, and I think, yeah, this is a good thing to think about as well. And I think this is probably where my watermelon came in this morning. So we're not going abroad. Well, we're not all going abroad this year. Two of my family are going abroad on Thursday. But we're not going away. We are having a holiday at home because that is how it kind of works best for my children right now. So we'll be going off and doing all of these things. But I'm thinking, oh, I could just do with walking barefoot, or I just want to feel the summer. So how can I like create that at home? Well, I cannot have shoes on in the garden. I can, feel that lovely summer grass under my feet by spending some time in the garden and being intentional about that. Even if I'm not doing that in Europe somewhere, I'm here in Somerset. But how can I create those things? How can I create the way I want to feel wherever I am? So that can also help you to not feel frustrated. And I think that's what I love about being intentional, is I can really think like, okay, this is where I'm at right now, whatever the moment is, but I can choose how I want to feel. So if I want to feel like it's summer when it's raining in July and a bit chilly, then I can get a watermelon, for example. I'm going to keep coming back to that watermelon I had for breakfast, but or I can light a candle that smells of summer. I want to get to the lavender fields, and for some reason I can't, so I'm going to go outside, and I've got lavender in my garden, but if I didn't, my neighbors have got lots of lavender in their front gardens. I'm just going to go and like run my hand and feel and smell the lavender, because I can choose. Does this make sense? Yes? Everybody with me? Good. Okay, so I want you to spend just a few minutes now thinking about how. So there's 3 questions. You can write the questions down, because I'm sure you'll want to come back to them as well. So how would you love to feel this summer? How would you love to feel this summer? What are 3 things that you would love to do this summer? And these 3 things, I want them to be things that you can definitely do. So not like, I would love to be going to Greece on Thursday. I am not. I can't really make that happen. Well, maybe I could, but I'm not going to make that happen this summer. But there are 3 things that I would love to do that I can make happen. Now, hopefully you're going to make more than 3 things happen. But I always love to choose, let's start with 3, because I'm going to choose those and I'm going to make those happen. And then if I get into that flow, then I can add and I can go from there. But I'm not going to be disappointed, because I'm going to make those 3 things happen. And I then want you to, and you might need time to think about those. They might come to you straight away, or you might want to reflect on those. And then, how can you take care of yourself this summer? And this is really important. And this is really important whether you have children coming, going to be at home all day from school, or whether you don't. How can you take care of yourself this summer? Because when you are intentional about this kind of thing, you then will take care of yourself. So if you can't think of things, I'm going to share some ways in a moment, but I want you to think about how you can take care of yourself this summer. And I want you to think of things that are achievable. So I don't want you to write like, oh, I could, go and have a massage every week, if that just isn't achievable. Or, I could go to the spa. If that is achievable, then write it down. But I also want you to have some ways that you can take care of yourself, whatever else is going on in your day. Okay, so however much, if you've got children, however much your children might need you, or however busy work might be, or whatever you might be doing, you find some things that mean that you are still taking care of yourself this summer. And then finally, in this bit, if you could have one word to take you through your summer, and this might take you longer, but if you can think of a word now, that would be lovely. If you could think of a word for this summer, what would it be? So you might already have a word of the year. If you've done that practice, you might have done that practice in January. And it's a lovely thing to do, but I always like to add an extra word for my season. So I have my year theme, and then I have a seasonal word, because it just helps me give another level of intention and thought. And it also enables me to kind of, I guess, grow and flow as I go through the year, so that I'm not feeling like I'm stuck in the word that I made in January. So what was your word for your summer 2023? So I'm just going to give you a few minutes, and then I'm sure you will come back to this. But I do love when I do workshops like this, when I attend them and when I give them, to have some space now, because you have given yourself this time to be here now. So it's really nice to make the most of it. So I'll just give you a few minutes to reflect on those things. And if you want to share anything in the chat, then please do. I'm just going to give you like one more minute. If you want to share anything that's come up for you in the chat, then please do. Okay, so hopefully, I'm sure you will keep thinking of things, but hopefully that's given you just a bit of time to start thinking about the rest of your summer. And I hope it's also made you realize that we just took 5 minutes there. And I think sometimes we can feel so busy or so overwhelmed or so like we should be doing something else that we don't make the time to just sit down and journal for a few minutes. And if we just did that 5 or 10 minutes, we'd probably feel a lot better and a lot calmer. And we'd have more idea of what we should be doing or we want to be doing in a day. So it really helps you to be intentional because so often we just go from day to day to day to day without really thinking about where we're going, what we're doing, why we're doing what we're doing. And if we don't take any time to just kind of reflect and breathe and check in, very quickly we'll be into autumn or we'll be into 2024 or we'll be and we'll think, oh gosh, where did all that time go? So finding time, it doesn't have to be much time, but finding a bit of time with a pen and paper can be so transformative and can really, really help you to be more intentional. So please, keep writing, keep thinking about those questions. If you have a word for how you want to feel this summer, or a few words, or even a few words that you think other people might want to feel like this summer, then please put them in the chat because I am just making a nice affirmation for us all to share. And I've put a few words in. So I've put, we are enjoying an expansive, joyful, restful, supported. There we go. Calm. Thanks, Claire. Calm. Relaxed. Relaxed. Open. Faith. That's a good one. We are enjoying an expansive, joyful, restful, supported, calm, relaxed, open. I'm going to do something else and then I'm going to put full of faith at the end of it. I don't know if Ali's got any words to add. I'll leave that open for a minute and then I'll finish that in a moment and share what that's for. So one of the questions I asked you is how you can take care of yourself this summer. So I thought that I would just tell you a few of the ways that I take care of myself in the yes. Yes, yes, brilliant. Keep them coming and I will add, yes, I can add spacious. I love that. Yes. And alchemy and flow. Yes, brilliant. I'm going to add it all. So if anything comes to you in the next like 5 minutes, then pop them in there. So some of the ways that I look after myself in the school holidays, well, in the summer, but I with a particular emphasis on the school holidays. And these are really useful because they can be for any season, and they can be for busy days, whether they are in the holidays or whether they are anytime. But they definitely came from me working out how I could thrive in the holidays with 4 children. So the first one is 10 minutes a day. Okay, so my 10 minutes a day practice, which you've probably heard me talk about before because I'm so passionate about it because it actually works. And you can definitely find 10 minutes a day, even if you have lots of children and it's the summer holidays, because 10 minutes, you can get up 10 minutes earlier, even if the children are around all the time, all the rest of the time, you can stay up 10 minutes later if that's the only time you can squeeze in 10 minutes. But I bet if you are organized with your 10 minutes a day, you don't have to do either of those options. You can find another time. but you have to be organized and you have to make a decision about your 10 minutes a day. So the 10 minutes a day, if you haven't heard me talk about it before, is thinking of something. So it could be reading a book, it could be making something, it could be tidying your house, like having a clear out in the house. It could be anything, but it just is for 10 minutes a day. Now, if you read a book for 10 minutes a day, you can read a book a month in just 10 minutes a day. You can probably read a bit more than that, but that, you know, and 10 minutes a day really, really does add up to a lot of time. And it makes you feel like you have done something for yourself because you actually have done something for yourself. So however busy your day is, if there are children at home and you're feeling like, oh my gosh, all I'm doing is making food and tidying up and stopping arguments all day long for 6 weeks, you will also be doing this 10 minutes a day project. So you will also have read a book or made something or written some letters to friends or cleared out a cupboard or done some gardening, whatever it might be. So what I want you to do before long, so very soon, like today, if possible, but definitely this week, is think about what you are going to do for 10 minutes a day from now until the end of August, or whenever your definition of when summer ends is. That might be sometime in September if we have beautiful weather. But what is your 10 minutes a day for the rest of the summer going to be? And then I want you to get it ready. So it's really easy to realize how easy it is to do something in 10 minutes a day, but you can only do it if you are organized, because otherwise you'll spend 5 minutes finding the stuff and then you'll be like, oh, there's no point. Right? So if it's something you want to make, I want you to, by the end of this week or by the end of the weekend, depending on how long it takes you to get ready and gather the stuff, I want you to gather everything you need and put it in a basket or a box or a drawer, somewhere where everything is for that project. Okay, and then you can begin your 10 minutes a day. If it's a book, I want you to think where you're most likely to read that book. So for me, my 10 minutes a day book that I read is in the kitchen, because I can read it at lunchtime when I take a break for my lunch. And if I haven't read it at lunchtime because I've been watching someone else's Zoom call or whatever I might have been doing while I've been eating my lunch, then I can read it while the dinner's cooking. Like while I'm kind of, I can, the dinner, that's got to cook for 5 minutes. So I'll do 5 minutes and then that's got to cook. You can make it, I can make it work. So that's where I put my 10 minutes a day book. I have another book that is my bedtime book. And I may or may not do 10 minutes or I might do more or whatever, but I have my 10 minutes a day book in the kitchen, so I know where it is. And I really like to have, because I love this practice so much, in the school holidays, I have more than, so I have my book and then I'll have something that I'm making. And I put that into a basket so that I can take it wherever I need to be. So it might be that my children want to watch a film with me, and I am watching the film, but I can also do 10 minutes of making during that film. Or they might be, my children are older now, so they tend to just be up in their rooms a lot of the time. But when they were younger, and if you've got younger children, they might be playing and you might need to be sort of around, but they don't really want you there. They sort of want you there. They want your presence, not your attention. And so you can have your little basket and you can be present with them while they're busy doing their thing. And you can do some making, whatever it might be. But it is so satisfying. It's just so satisfying. And it's really intentional. And it's a really, really good way of teaching yourself how amazing being intentional is, because suddenly you've read a book, right? You're like, oh, I thought I had no time to read. And I've just read that book. I'm going to go and get another one. I'm going to do 10 minutes a day. Or you've made something like last summer I did a big project, but I did a big project in small pockets of time. It was probably a little bit more than 10 minutes a day, but I could definitely have done it in 10 minutes a day. And I did lots of projects dyeing fabric with plants from my garden. So before the summer holidays started, I spent 10 minutes a day getting myself ready, getting everything I needed, getting all the equipment, getting it all sorted, treating the fabric, all the stuff I needed, so that then I could do these little projects. And then this summer, I'm going to be starting to make a quilt from all the fabric that I dyed last year. Now, this was in a really busy summer of 4 children, lots of 2 dogs, lots of stuff going on. And I still managed to do that. And it made me feel amazing. And I took photographs as I went, so that whenever I was having a moment of feeling really overwhelmed because I felt like I had no time for myself, I would be like, oh no, actually, I just made that today, or I dyed that, or that plant was really beautiful, or, you know, I dried those flowers, or so I can do the dyeing tomorrow, or whatever I might have been doing. And it just makes you feel great. It doesn't, it when you're feeling overwhelmed, it just brings you out of that. Or I've managed to read that book that I've always wanted to read. So the 10 minutes a day practice, like, I can't recommend that enough. It's just, I know I talk about it a lot. If you've heard me talk about it before, you'll be like, oh, there she goes again. But it's just so powerful because it's 10 minutes and it works however busy you are. And it gives you that time for yourself. And it just, not only do you achieve something, but you feel good. And then you feel like you can do the rest of your day, or you can do the next day. So you must do that. You must try it. You must. Another thing I love is, I mentioned it earlier, I love my herbal teas. You might not like herbal tea, but you might like tea or coffee or hot chocolate or a sparkling juice or whatever it might be. But finding something that just for 1 minute. So this is like a 1 minute practice. So you've got your 10 minutes, and then you need these little ones that you can really squeeze in to just bring your focus and intention back into how you want to feel. And a cup of tea is amazing for that. So I make the tea and I just let it, you know, get to the right temperature while I'm busy doing. But then when it's ready to drink, I just drink the tea. Okay, so I just smell it. I just breathe it in. I'm just calm. If I can, I go outside with my bare feet and I just am with my tea. And if I can only be with my tea for 1 minute, it just brings me back. It calms me down. It calms my nervous system down. It makes me feel happy. It makes me feel loved. And the more you do that practice, the more like supported by the cup of tea or the whatever it is. But tea is really good because it is a calming, it's warm, it smells nice, it's nurturing. It's really part of our days as well. You know, it's like it's something normal. So it just gives comfort in the sort of everyday, in the mundane. And it's really accessible. So it's not something you kind of think, oh, I can't do that, or I haven't got that. You've probably got some tea in the cupboard. And it will just make you feel really looked after, even if you're feeling like you're looking after everyone else. And the more you kind of are confirming that, being intentional with your cup of tea, the more it will make you feel like that when you pick up a cup of tea. So the more you just take a moment with your cup of tea, it's really beautiful to find sort of magic in these little moments, because then your every day can be better. Your every day can be more joyful. Your every day can be more manageable. Just sprinkling the magic into your everyday with intention is the key. It's the key to life, I think. The other thing I've written down here is outfits. This might sound a bit funny, but I really realized like how much I just love wearing a pretty dress, right? So I basically wear dresses pretty much every day. And sometimes it's a bit impractical. And so I have like, so I find dresses, often find dresses in charity shops or like real bargain sale dresses. But then I'm like, oh, I paid like £10 for that dress in the charity shop. So I can live in that dress. I can feel my best self wearing that dress. And it doesn't matter if I get paint on it, if I get mud on it in the garden, if it gets a bit ripped as I go on a dog walk with all the brambles or, you know, whatever it might be. And it just makes me feel brilliant and happy and like I'm living my best life. So it might not be dresses for you because you might just think, oh, it's the last thing I want to wear. But there might be something that just every time you put it on, you're like, oh, I feel great. I feel great. I feel like I'm going to have a brilliant day. And this was really something I learned from my mum, but then sort of didn't put into practice until later in life. So my mum used to get her wardrobe ready, her outfits for the week ready every Sunday. And she would look in her calendar and she'd be really intentional about what she was going to wear. So she would look in her work diary and go, oh, I've got a really tricky meeting on Wednesday. So my Wednesday outfit, I'm going to wear this like pink dress and my pink shoes and these earrings, and I'm going to feel amazing. So even though that day is going to be horrible, so I've got that horrible meeting, I'm going to feel amazing when I go out the door. And I've really realized like how intentional I can be with what I wear. So you might want to take that or leave that, but you know, it's the same as if I like, oh, I want to feel like really cozy and I want to feel, then I'll go and get one of my, you know, big cozy cardigans, and then I feel like, oh, I feel all comforted now by my clothes. So that might just be something you want to think about, rather than you used to feel like so overwhelmed by it. Like, I've got no time to find anything to wear. I'll just to wear the same thing again. You know, I'm so busy. I'm so busy. And I'm so overwhelmed. And now I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna put a pretty dress on and I'm gonna have a lovely day. It's just like a change of mindset, you know. It doesn't have to be a pretty dress, but whatever makes you feel good. And then the other one is creating your summer playlist, or your seasonal playlist, but for now we're doing our summer playlist. So I either put my playlist on and have my headphones on. I kind of tend to wear my headphones with like one ear on and one ear off if I need to hear the children. But having some music in my ear really, really helps me to have a good day when I need to have a good day. It really helps me to be like, oh yeah, it's summer. It's summer, I'm gonna have a lovely day, even if it's raining or even if there's too much going on. Like my summer playlist. Or I put it on and everyone hears it and we all enjoy it together. So I don't have to have it on my headphones. I can just have it on and everyone can enjoy it. We made a playlist one holiday when we went on a road trip, on a family road trip. And whenever we put that playlist on now, you know, it's called the summer road trip playlist and we all have it on our Spotify. We can just play it and be like, oh, remember. And it's just another really lovely sensory thing that's quite easy to do. And if you have children, you could make a family summer 2023, or whoever you live with, if you live with anybody or you have children, whatever, you might want to make one together. And then that's a lovely thing to do. And then you can play it and you'll be like, oh, and then the memories that you're creating this summer, you play the music next summer or in the winter, and you're brought back into the feeling of this season. It's just like another easy but effective way to be intentional and a lovely way to make memories. Right. There's so much more I could share. I've got like a pile of books. There's all sorts of things, but we're going to run out of time. So I will send you some other, I'll email everybody with the replay and some other little lovely things that you might want to think about. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add these beautiful yeah, that's amazing, Ali. That's what I do. That you've gone back to reading 10 pages of a personal development book every day. That's basically what I do. So I have my fiction book is by my bed, and that's what I read at bedtime. And then I have some kind of learning, growing, some kind of, mind expanding book that is my 10 minutes a day book. That's my downstairs book. So I love that. It is oh, thank you, Ali. Right, I'm going to go and add these words. Where are all our words? Into our lovely affirmation. So we are enjoying an expansive, joyful, restful, supported, calm, relaxed, open, flowing, spacious. Gosh, we're going to have an amazing summer. Spacious. Okay, hang on. I'm going to weave some of these in. Okay. Spacious summer. Full of faith, alchemy, transformation. Gosh, what are we going to be like by the autumn? And creation. Okay, so I'm going to send everybody this affirmation too. And you can write it out. You can change it to be more personal for you. It can be just an inspiration and then you just make your own. But having your affirmation for the summer is like, it's just such a lovely thing to do, and to just have it written down and then to put it somewhere where you see it every day. So depending on what you feel comfortable with, you can have it on display in the house. You can, if you don't feel so comfortable, you could have it on your phone so that when you open your phone, you have it there. You can have it on the inside of your wardrobe. I love having an affirmation on the inside of the wardrobe door, because you open the wardrobe to get your clothes out in the morning, and then you're reminded that you're amazing, or whatever, or that the summer is amazing. So it's really lovely. Now what I'm going to do for added power, I'm putting this beautiful affirmation into my Healy coach, and I've put all of us, those of us who are here live and everyone who is going to take part in this workshop at some point on the recording, into my coach app on my Healy. So the intention of everybody. And then I have put that into the coach app, and I'm going to make sure that we all have an amazing summer. So I'm just basically making a frequency for all of us that is going to blast anything away that is not in alignment with that beautiful summer affirmation, and send us the frequency of that amazing, expansive, joyful, transformative, spacious, and all the other gorgeousness of that. So we're going to just take a few moments now to just take a few lovely, beautiful breaths. And while we do that, that's going to be sending us beautiful frequency as well on my Healy. So there it is. Okay, so I just want you to close your eyes again and put your hands on your heart if you feel comfortable doing that. And I want you to just breathe in all the magic of the last hour, all the intention, all the inspiration, all the wonderful things you've written down. And your vision for summer and how you want to feel. And I just want you to step into summer. Imagine you're like in a dome of summer. If the season of summer was in a dome that you could just walk into, I want you to walk into that now. And I want you to think about how this dome would smell. What can you smell in here? What does it feel like on your skin, on your feet? Can you feel the warmth of summer? Maybe that beautiful warmth of a summer day. And then that magic of warm summer rain, which also feels amazing and smells so special. Summer rain smells like no other rain. So be grateful for not only the heat of the summer and the warmth, but also the summer rain and all the smells that that brings. And then I want you to look around and see if there's anything in this dome of summer that is special to you, that sums up summer. Is there maybe something lovely on a table full of food? Maybe there's a film playing that is a film you love to watch in the summer, or some music that just takes you back to a past summer, or just always makes you feel like, oh, it's summertime. Maybe that music is playing. Maybe there's a library full of books and magazines. Maybe there's a book you've always wanted to read, or a book that's just come out. You can take that book and know that this is the summer that you can read it. And is there anyone in this dome of summer, anyone in there that you really want to see this summer? And I just want you to soak all this lovely summer up and just try and hold on to everything that's come to you. And don't worry if nothing has come to you yet, because it will come. It will come over the next few days. And don't worry about trying to remember it all, because it will come back to you. I just want you to take a moment to take it all in. Feel that beautiful summer air, that beautiful summer smell, that beautiful summer sense of the season. Hmm. And just thank summer for all that it has brought you already and all that it is going to bring you over the coming weeks. And step out of the zone of summer, knowing that you can come back. You are in it. We are living in summer now. And you can access all of this whenever you want to, whether that's in a meditation, whether that's with a cup of tea, or whether that's really in your day. And just take another couple of deep breaths of joy and gratitude and love. And slowly open your eyes and come back into the space. Thank you, everybody. I'm so sorry that my dog has got bored of oh, someone's just come in. Yeah, sorry, my dog got a bit bored at the end there and started asking to be let out. So sorry if you could hear him grunting. He was being very polite and not barking too much. But yes, Emma, you've just joined, but we're about to finish. But I will be sending oh, she can't hear yet. I think she's just connecting to the audio. But I hope that has been useful and you feel good and inspired and that you can have a really beautiful summer. And please just message me if you want to ask me anything, and I will send an email with the replay and also some other things to share with you to hopefully inspire you. And I'll send the affirmation as well. So thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Enjoy your summer. Keep in touch. And I'm just sending you lots of love. It's going to be beautiful. Take care.